about 1937, somewhere in there. We, I was just tagging along. I was just, I was 7, 8 years old. And they decided to go. My mom, there was no war yet, so I don't know who drove us. Probably Manuel, Brother Manuel, and others. But before the war, we were just family. I remember we went to see compadre of my mom and dad. He was a sponsor for my brother Manuel. He was Marcelino Pacheco, and his wife, I forget her name, Alvina Pacheco. And they became compadres because Marcelino sponsored my brother Manuel. He was my brother Manuel's padrino. And then they moved to just across the street from the mission, but a few miles into the hills. We went to see them. And we stayed there overnight with them, or maybe a couple of nights. But during that time, we visited the mission for the first time.
Which mission?
The San Miguel mission.
Oh.
Yeah. And you remember that devil is down like that?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I remember that because it was on the floor. My mom was standing there, us standing there, and we were reflecting on the devil, and every time I went by there, I stayed by the devil. I remember my mom standing right there. I remember, that experience.
I think it has Saint Michael, doesn't it? A Saint Michael statue above it?
A statue? No.
Of Saint Michael? No?
No, it just has a statue of one of the founders of the mission.
Oh.
But it's not Juniper Serra. Juniper Serra is the one that founded all the missions, except the statue of this priest, monk, whatever, is about the one that took over for him, or one of his associates.
Mm.
But you notice when you go through the arch like that, there's a statue right there.
I don't recall.
Yeah, that's the statue of him. I was wondering years ago about, is that Juniper Serra? No, they said, no, it's not him. It's just the helper or whatever. So that was the first time I saw San Miguel Mission. And it was a real profound visit because, it's just like Christopher right now, I guess. But he's older than I was at that time. But it seems to me like he might be getting the same feelings, We walked into the mission, and it was summertime. When we walked into the mission, it was real cool in there, real cool, because the height of the mission, the molecules, whatever, exchange. All the molecules, hot molecules, go up there, and the molecules they exchange, and it stays cool down there, just automatically, and intentional. And I remember at that time they had cactus along in there, and Sister Mary, she went with us. She went against the cactus, and the cactus stuck on her arm here. And they had to pull it out little by little. And that's the first time I saw it. And then we stayed to go to that place where compadre was. You go across the railroad, and then about 5 miles or so into the hills, and compadre was working for a person whose name was Quito, and they too lived in Wasco, but they moved out that way, and they had that ranch where they had a water hole, artesian well, and they had a little lake out there where all the water collects, and they would plant things. So, but compadres and Elvina, they had a little small shack, and then real comfy, So we stayed. We slept on the floor, and during the day we'd climb the hills over there, and it was like an excursion for us, really exciting. I have good memories about that. Compadre, they are the people who own the land where the big house is now. You know, on Central Avenue in Wasco. There were a lot of eucalyptus trees around there, eucalyptus grove, and they lived there. They owned that land, and when we were out west on the sur farm, Elvina, comadre Elvina, made several trips to see my dad, to ask him, compadre, ¿quiere que usted se quede con nuestro lugar, la propiedad? Que está un güero que quiere comprarlo y nos fastidia mucho si quiere comprar. Yo no quiero que se quede, mejor usted que se quede con él. And my dad would say, pues, no sé, you know. But that was a godsend, you know, that she said, because after the lease was up on the farm, we had to move. And then my dad and my brothers, they bought that land after the war. They bought that land and removed some of the eucalyptus trees, and they moved that big house there, and we lived there. And it was really nice that my dad and my brother decided to buy that land. I helped clear the eucalyptus trees too with my brothers. I worked there to knock them down and dig them out, make room for them. And so those are the people that we stayed with in San Miguel.
And where was Aunt Lupe and Uncle John on that trip?
I don't know. They were I guess the little brats. I don't know. I don't remember them. I don't remember them. I just remember my sister Mary because he got caught. He got stuck with her. Okay. I guess they were still there, but they were kind of invisible. I don't know. They were around somewhere.